BB's playing the same 5 notes we all play, but it sounds amazing. So if you've been stuck in that pentatonic rut since forever, I'm going to show you how these legends turn that into magic. So in music, you've got these two kind of basic sides of the coin. You've got the major scale and then the minor scale. But most rock and blues music's derived from the pentatonic scale. And just the same, you've got the minor pentatonic scale and the major pentatonic scale, which is just the same thing but down 3 frets. So for example, if you're in the key of A, there's your root note. Just go down 3 frets, the root note is now in your pinky, play the same scale. So the pentatonic scales derive from the major and minor scales, but the beauty of the pentatonic scale is there's no half steps. So whenever you have half steps in music, one of those notes is going to have some tension on it and want to resolve. But pentatonics have this beautiful open sound because with the pentatonic scale, you can land on any note and it sounds good. And then major, same thing. So that's beautiful, right? But how do you take it to the next level? Well, really, what these great players like B.B. King are doing is they're actually adding the tension back in, but they're doing it within the pentatonic scale. So, for example, if you listen to The Thrill Is Gone by B.B. King, right, the first few notes of that. So he's playing it right here in B minor. It's right there in the pentatonic scale. He's playing it right there in pattern 2, and he often played in pattern 3, so that you can kind of get that vibrato with the first finger right there. But let's bring it down to pattern 1, so it's a bit easier to look at. So let's say if we play that same melody in pattern 1. So we're in B minor. So there's the scale. This little melody that he's playing, all he's doing is going down the minor pentatonic scale. So let me play it without any of the feel or the things that he does. So he's just literally going down the scale, right? Just going down the pentatonic scale. So let me show you how he brings that to life. It's really, really cool. So again, he's playing in pattern 2, but if you're starting in pattern 1, and he would do this a lot. Like if you watch it, watch how amazing it is. Like right here, this is the same song. So that right there, right? That's the first thing, is he's putting a lot of vibrato on the root note. I'll slow it down for you so you can kind of see his hand. Quite slow. So you see how much vibrato he's putting on there. He's really bending that note. He's not just kind of, he's actually bending it like this. And he's using that famous butterfly vibrato where he's really shaking the note like this. He's using his first finger there as like a fulcrum, and then he's actually, the way he's doing it is he's kind of muting right here with the right hand, and he's doing a downstroke, and then he's pushing up with the first finger like this, and then shaking. So it's incredible to see how he's doing that, putting that kind of explosive vibrato on the root note. Then if you look on the tab there, he's walking up to the 10th fret, which is the minor third, and then he's doing a quarter step bend. So I call that the blue third, because he's actually bending up from the minor third to the in-between note, in between the minor third and the major third. So it's not quite as high as, it's not quite as low as the minor third. It's not quite as high as the major third. It's in between. And that's a very distinctive part of blues, is that in-between sound there. So that little squeeze, and then you walk down the scale. And then when you get on the 9th fret, he's bending up. It's one of those kind of bends where it's actually not going all the way up to a full step, but it's kind of like moving up towards that, and then the note abruptly ends, leaving it hanging. And then he walks back down the scale and kind of encircles the minor third here. And then when he plays it again, he bends it up to that blue third again. So just those little things really bring that melody to life. So starting with that amazing vibrato on the root. And one of the things is with that is if you listen to a lot of BB King's playing, like just look how softly he's playing here. It's so dynamic and amazing. So he's playing so softly there. But then when he hits those explosive notes, what he's doing is, rather than just hitting the note, he's also hitting the adjacent strings, almost like a mini rake. And it makes those notes, you know, you can hear it up here as well. And he plays that note there. So he's doing this raking across the D and G strings and then ending on that second string. And part of the way you can do that is by muting here with the right hand, but also with the left hand. So you can see I'm muting across the strings here. Now, it's a little more tricky to do that when you're doing that first finger, signature BB King thing. But what he's actually doing there is he's pushing up like this, and he's doing that vibrato. But this top of the finger there is actually muting the B string. So when you hit that, when you hit both strings together, the B string is muted. So you get that percussive click that gives it that more explosive, complex sound. And then you got that blue third. So you just walk down the scale. So you can see those little things add so much soul. So the things that we're talking about basically is taking your basic pentatonic scale, and the pentatonic scale is a very stable sound. There's no wrong notes. You can just play any note in the pentatonic scale. And it sounds great, right? But it's a bit vanilla. But by taking some of those notes and tweaking them, adding that explosive vibrato, the blue third, that squeeze on the blue third, and then essentially when you get to this note here on the third finger, that is going to be where you're adding in the flat 5, or you can do a whole step bends there as well. But essentially, that idea there is where you're taking the pentatonic scale and you're adding in the flat 5 or the actual blue note, which is the diminished fifth or the flat 5. And when you do that, it totally changes the character of the scale. It becomes a different scale. It goes from being a 5-note, very open, beautiful, cascading kind of scale to this scale that has this very dissonant sound in it. And the more that you emphasize that note, the flat 5, the more you emphasize that note, the more dissonant it sounds, even to the point of making it sound very dissonant by repeating that blue note. And then again, when you add that blue third in, either here or here, it totally changes the character of the scale, because it goes from being this open sounding scale to being this scale that's pushing and pulling between the major and the minor. It's just a very, very different sound, mimicking the sound of a slide guitar, you know. So the idea there is, even though it looks like you're playing the same scale, it's actually a very different scale when you add in those nuances of the blue third and the flat 5 and that adding that kind of tension around the vibrato on the root note, where you're actually taking that root note and you're actually doing these micro bends, like you can see B.B. King's doing. He's actually bending it in and out of tune, which has such a fantastic sound. All right, so yeah, B.B. King is an amazing player to learn from, and The Thriller's Gone is a fantastic song. So hope you enjoyed this, and I'd love to hear from you. So leave some comments below, and don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe. Let me know what are your favorite B.B. King songs, and remember, turn it up.